Okay, good afternoon. I will answer 4 questions. Question number 1. The florist Sumana, while on his way to the king's palace with his daily supply of flowers, was thrilled to see the Buddha approaching him on the road ahead. He offered the flowers to the Buddha in veneration. Illustrate with diagrams the different thought process that would have occurred to Sumana and name the chitta a reason at each thought moment. As introduction. The florist Sumana was on his way to deliver the flowers to the king's palace as his usual daily routine. He was thrilled to see the Buddha with the radiant halo of light ray approaching him on the road ahead. He is overwhelmed with the desire to offer the flowers to the Buddha in veneration and felt joy over this offering made. He ignored the risk of being punished by the king as he had failed to deliver the flower as being ordered. This is actually taken from Dhammapada verse 68, the story of Sumana the florist. This involves the impingement of the Buddha's image on Sumana's physical idol and arouse the rise and fall of a succession of consciousness, forming the idol-related cognitive process. When an object contacts one of the 5 sense doors, in this case, the idol, the Bhavanga Chitta stops and an active thought series called Chittavritti begins to flow. Whenever the cognitive process occurs in one of the sense doors, 2 doors are involved, the physical sense door and the mind door. Sumana's story involves 2 primary cognitive processes, that is, seeing the Buddha via the eye door, process is known as the Chakku Dwaravritti, and deciding to offer the flowers despite the risk of being punished for fail to deliver the flower, which process at the mind door level. This is the Mano Dwaravritti. So the eye door cognitive process is what we are going to touch first. Sumana seeing the Buddha involved the eye door's cognitive process. The thought process recognizing the Buddha as a very great sight object, Ati Mahantar Aramana, consists of 17 thought moments, and each Chitta moment consists of 3 sub-moments, that is, arising, presence, dissolution. The process depicts a series of rapid succession of one chitta arises, ceases, and then succeeded by another chitta undergoes the same process as illustrated as below. So we see that there's a series of 17 thought moments started by the stream of life continuum. Then the starting from the first chitta activated in the series is the Adita Bhavanga, Bhavanga Chalana, Bhavanga Upacheda, Pancha Dwara Abhajana Chitta, then the eye consciousness, Chakku Vijnana, followed by the receiving Vasampa Tichana Chitta, then the investigating consciousness, Santivrana, followed by Votapana, which is the determining. Then there's a succession of 7 javanas. Since the object is very great, so 2 registration chitta appear before it falls back to the passive bhavanga. So for explanation, when the eye doors gain access to the sight of the Buddha, a very great object of high interest is presented. It had caught Sumana's attention. Before the emergence of the active cognitive process, there flew a continuous stream of passive life continuum consciousness, bhavanga citta, or the dormant state of mind. Firstly, it is the atita bhavanga citta, the past life continuum consciousness ceased. Then it is interrupted by the arising of the vibrating bhavanga citta, owing to the impact of the sense object that is inside the Buddha, which it fell away. Then followed by the arising of the arrest bhavanga citta that stops the dormant state of mind. Then it fell away, is followed by the arising of adverting consciousness, the pancha dwara avajjana citta, that determined which type of sense input it was and directed it to the respective sense store. In this case, as the sight impinged on the eye base, turning the attention to the image. So Sumana saw the Buddha. Since the Buddha is an agreeable object, it conditioned the arising of the rootless, wholesome, resultant eye consciousness. Upeka sahagata, caku vinyana kusala vipaka citta. Followed by receiving consciousness, aroused paying attention to the sight, accepted the sensory information and held it for the next stage. Subsequently, followed by the investigating consciousness to examine the object perceived. This investigating consciousness serves to register the object's intensity and quality. After that, determining consciousness for tapana citta, deciding what the object was, and initiated the mental action that follows, deciding it is the Buddha. This involved functional consciousness, kriya citta, a stage where the mind began to take initiative before the moral or immoral impulses of the jhavana phase. Then, followed by the 7 wholesome jhavanas repeated in succession. During this 7 moments of highly joyful and devotional thought, piti, a key mental factor during the jhavana phase, acted as a catalyst for the volitional formation, which gained momentum. With profound and spontaneous faith in the Buddha, generates the intention which leads to the actual offering, which is kaya karma, a bodily action. The jhavana citta involved is somanasa sahagata, jnana sampayutta, asankarika, kama vachara kusala citta. As Sumana fully understood the value of the Buddha, hence the associated mental factor will be non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. The last 2 will be registration consciousness, because the impact of the visual is very great. It allows the mind to fully register an impression before it lapses back into the subconscious stream of life continuum consciousness. These 2 registration consciousness will not arise if the Buddha image does not give a great impact on the cognitive process, and the visual will not be remembered nor triggering the follow-up conditional action relating to the offering of flowers. And the second thought process will be the mind door cognitive process, manodwara vici. When the cognitive process occurs in one of the sense door, 2 doors are involved, the original physical sense door process and the conformational mind door process. When the arising of the 5 averting cittas, streams of consciousness emerges from the process-free state, the mind door process occurs. In other words, after the 5 sense door cognitive process arises, dependent on the physical sense door, the same object can be taken up again by the mind. Then a manodwara cittaviti arises with the heart base, daya watu, mentally reviewing, recognizing, judging, delighting, disliking, intending, remembering, and so forth. This is the limited mind door cognitive process, which is twofold, as the sequel of the physical sense door cognitive process and occur as an independent process at a later stage. The manodwara citta has only 12 citta moments as usual. Each citta moment is also made up of 3 sub-moments. So the illustration as below. So we see that there is only 2 bhavanga citta, then followed by the mind door averting citta, followed by 7 javanas, ended with 2 registration citta before it falls back to the passive or dormant mind process. It breaks away from the 2 passive bhavanga states instead of 3 as occur in the physical idol process, for the mind had already taken up the mental object to put the image. So the third step will be the mind door averting consciousness is the same as the function of the Uttapana citta, which diverts the object through the mind door. This consciousness is where the decision is made. It turns the mind towards the offering. Step number 4 to 7 will be the 7 javana citta that arise. The consciousness series is Somanasa Sahakata Jnana Sampayutta Asanskarika Karma Vachara Kusala citta as previous. The consciousness is associated with mental factors such as faith, saddha, non-greed, alobha, adosa, and amoha. It is the 7 moment of wholesome javana, a wholesome mental state with devotion, non-greedy, non-hateful, wise attention. Sumana had proved faith in the Buddha, experiencing joy, develop reverence, make decision to give offerings, and renunciation of fear for punishment and abandoning the attachment to the comfort and safety instead, bearing the risk of failing the obligation to deliver the flower to the king. The volitional formation associated with the mental factor mentioned had triggered the thought, let this flower be offered to the Blessed One. This is the decisive wholesome volition, kusala karma, leading to the wholesome volitional bodily action, that is, offering the flowers to the Buddha. The last 2 in the Cittavritti ends with the 2 registration consciousness, Tada Ramana Citta, as the image of the Buddha is a very great object that gives great impact upon its perception. Sumana remembers the Buddha and develops his devotional faith, consequently perform the act of offering flowers to the venerated Buddha. As conclusion, the story shows that karma is shaped chiefly by the cetana or intention. Sumana's great merit did not come from the monetary value of the flower, but from the purity, joy, and faith in the moment of offering. This reflects the practical Dhamma principle that a brief, wholesome mind can become very powerful when free from hesitation and full of saddha, confident of faith, had overcome the fear of being punished to offer flowers to the Buddha instead of deliver it to the king. The physical eye door cognitive process and the mind door cognitive process depicts the process how the flow of internal mental phenomena drives the execution of the external bodily action. And these are references that I've made. I have to thank Brother Lau giving me very prompt with feedback and advice how to do it twice and help me to clear up my mind on some very obscure concepts. Thank you very much. Anything to ask? No,
anybody
then
want to comment?
Then I will
Very
proceed.
tough question. No.
That's why I told you the 4th year one is the toughest among all the 5 years one. They
Oh, is
better put
it?
more effort. Very difficult. I seem so I got headache also.
This question very tough. Oh. Not clear cut one. Oh. Aiyo.
Not so clear cut, but I find that 4th year one very, very tough compared to diploma.
Sorry,
What are the
sorry for that earlier question. Brother,
Yeah.
now you have a shorter version. This one very long like that.
What shorter version? I only help her to correct only certain point only. Is her
No, I
version.
mean, do you have a shorter
No,
version of
no.
answer?
I never prepare.
Okay. Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, Sister Sumitra, can you go back to your slide number 6? Just now that one, slide number 6. Okay, number 3, your item number 3, You see here in the Mano Dwara Viti, the Mano Dwara Vajana Chitta does not perform the function of Votapana.
Okay, then.
It functions as Avajana.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Don't mix it up. Okay.
Okay, I'll correct that. Thank you.
Then the other one you say about the Kusala Vipaka, that is very good. Because initially I thought you might have missed out the idol cognitive because of the because the statement say that she's Kriya, so that should be Kusala in that sense. So we have to assume it is the Kusala Vipaka.
Okay.
The Ahituka Kusala Vipaka, and that's what you have done. That's good. Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll do the correction later. Thanks. Okay, now I go to question number 2. What are the consciousness that can arise in the idol when visible form contacts it? So, as introduction, in the Theravada Abhidhamma, when a visible form, Rupa Aramana, impinges on the eye base, Chakku Pasada, a complete connective process of 17 thought moments may arise. Within this Chakku Dwaraviti, the following types of consciousness can occur. Each thought moment is subdivided into 3 moments: arising, presence, and dissolution. It may be depicted as the following diagram. So it will be preceded by 3 bhavangas, followed by the 5th door averting, then the eye consciousness, followed by receiving consciousness, investigating consciousness, determining consciousness, followed by 7 javana jittas. If the object is great, then we'll have 2 registration jitta arises before the percent end and fall back to the life continuum consciousness. So as briefly summarize it in a brief, the type of consciousness that can arise in the idol can be summarized as below. Firstly, the past bhavanga. There will be Atita bhavanga consisting of 19 types of consciousness. So same happen to vibrating bhavanga and awareness bhavanga, also have 19 because they are all life continuum consciousness. Saying the Chakku Vijnana, it will consist of 2, the Kusala Vipaka Ahetuka Citta and the Akusala Vipaka Citta, which is accompanied by equanimity. Then it will have receiving Sampatichana, also constitute of 2. These 2 are Sampatichana, one from the Kusala Vipaka, another Akusala Vipaka. With investigating consciousness, Santivrana, there will be 3. One from Kusala Vipaka, another 2 from Kusala. There's a mistake here. I will correct it later. Okay, then determining Uttapa from the Kriya. Then you have Javana, there are 29. Kamavachara Javana Citta. Then we have restitution, Tata Labana, 11. So the consciousness that can arise at the door. So I will do it one by one. So 1, life continuum consciousness. This is the resultant consciousness that preserves the continuity of the individual lifespan. It arises at the beginning of the idol cognitive process. It consists of 3 types. That is the Adita Bhavanga, the passive dormant state. Why? Bhavanga Chalana, the vibration, which is the state of consciousness that's agitated by stimuli, initiating the cognitive process. The third one is the arrest Bhavanga. This is the precise moment that the stream of Bhavanga flows is interrupted before the cognitive process begins. So the 19 possible consciousness that may arise in these functions are: 1. Unwholesome, rootless, resultant investigating consciousness with neutral feeling. And wholesome, rootless, resultant investigating consciousness with neutral feeling. 8 sense sphere unwholesome consciousness, which is the Kama Vachara Akusala Citta. 5 fine material sphere resultant consciousness, Rupa Vachara Vipaka Citta. 4 immaterial sphere resultant consciousness. So these 19 possible Bhavanga listed are general. But for a human, the Bhavanga is typically one of the 8 Maha Vipaka, beautiful resultant. 2. 5-door averting consciousness, Panja Dwara Avachana Citta. The first moment that directs attention towards the visible object through the eye door. It is the 5-door averting consciousness accompanied by equanimity. Upeka Sahakata, Mano Dwara Avachana Ahetuka Kirya Citta. It is a functional consciousness. It precedes the arising of eye consciousness. Then comes the eye consciousness, Jaku Vijnana. This is the primary consciousness that directly sees the object. When the visual object impinges on the eye door, activates the occurrence of eye consciousness. They arise without any accompanying universal wholesome or unwholesome mental roots because they are ahetuka or rootless consciousness. So their absence of roots such as greed, hatred, illusion, non-attachment, or wisdom. They are simple, bare reaction to the sensory environment where seeing is merely seeing. They do not determine the moral quality of the more complex mental state, making them ethically neutral in themselves. The 2 types of eye consciousness are, so the eye consciousness accompanied by equanimity, which is a wholesome resultant consciousness, and then another also eye door consciousness accompanied by equanimity feeling, but this one is the unwholesome vipaka citta. Other than the eye consciousness mentioned earlier, which is specific to the eye door cognitive process, the other consciousness listed in the under category 2 to 4 are involved with other 4 sense door. But I just list here for my own revision. Okay, 4. Receiving consciousness, Sampati Chana Citta. After the eye consciousness falls away, there arises the consciousness that receives the object as detected or seen and passes it on for further investigation without performing judgmental or volitional act. They are the unwholesome resultant receiving consciousness accompanied by equanimity, and the wholesome rootless resultant receiving consciousness accompanied by equanimity. The first one is the result of the unwholesome karmic result, whereas, second one, there's a mistake. There's a result of the wholesome karmic result. 5. Investigating consciousness, Sandhirana Citta. The consciousness that investigates and the received object determines its intensity and quality, such as agree or likewise. There are 3 kinds of investigating consciousness. One is the unwholesome resultant investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity, and then unwholesome rootless resultant investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity, and the next is wholesome rootless resultant investigating consciousness accompanied by joy. Number 6, determining consciousness, Vatapana Citta, the mind or consciousness that determines or classifies the objects, deciding what it is. It prepares the object for the mind to react to it through liking or disliking, functioning as the decision point before mental reaction. It is also the first viti citta at the mind door, functioning as adverting the awareness towards the object to the mind door. It is the unwholesome resultant investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity. Number 7, impulses javana. It refers to impulsion, the succession of 7 identical conscious moments running through the object. It is the active crucial state of a cognitive process where the mind experiences the sense object and generates ethical reaction where wholesome or unwholesome response occurs. In the idols, any of the following 29 sense sphere consciousness may arise. This includes 12 akusala citta, which were 8 rooted in greed, 2 rooted in hatred, 2 rooted in illusion. 8 maha kusala citta, which is the beautiful wholesome sphere. 8 maha kriya citta, which is functional for arahants only. And 1 hasitupata, which is smile producing consciousness only for the arahants. Number 8, registering consciousness, tata aramana citta. This registering consciousness, taking the same object again, it is not always present. It only occurs when the sense object is very strong or very clear. It serves to register the object. And in the case of intense experience, it is the last step before the mind rests or dies. There can be 11 kinds. 8 maha vipaka citta, 3 sandirana citta. During the idle cognitive process, they arise many different types of consciousness. That is, 1 panja dwara avachana, 2 chaku vinyana, 2 sampadicana, 3 santirana, 1 vatapa, 29 javana, 11 tata aramana, plus 3 pavanga moment. As conclusion, seeing is just only a process, not self. This experience happen is due to the condition forming the eyes door connective process where perceptions is mere seeing. The danger lies in the javana phase where repeated succession of the javana citta determines the choice of wholesome or unwholesome response to the external stimuli. Hence, being mindful and impose sensual restraint is necessary to avoid creating the condition for unwise attention, overwhelming feelings leading to craving and clinging. These are the things that reference that I made. Any comment?
Sorry, can you show slide number 7?
Is this a slide?
You say number 6, determining consciousness, right? Then it says the last sentence, it is the unwholesome resultant investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity. Why unwholesome resultant investigating consciousness?
I think I make a mistake here. I make a mistake here. It should be investigating consciousness, but I shouldn't have said whether it's wholesome or unwholesome because they are quite a number of them. Because the condition is also, the context also not specified. It's my mistake. I correct that.
Then number 8, slide number 8, right? It is the last step before the mind rests or dies. I feel that the wording
There's
a bit
a
odd leh.
fallacy here. Yeah, there's a fallacy here. I overlooked because not all juta-cita will be preceded by this registration cita. I'll correct that.
Then the last one, the last slide.
I will say this is for a complete eyes door
It is the last step
process for the
before
very great
for
object.
that last for the witty process, is it?
Yeah. I have to specify that is for the great object or very great object.
Okay, then 29 Javana, 11 Dada Ramana plus 3 Bhavanga, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Some of the
Plus
cita
3
is actually
Bhavanga, no moments. I'm not sure that one because I belong belajar. Not belong belajar, not revision yet, so I'm not sure. Is it correct or plus 3 Bhavanga moment is correct or not correct?
because
Brother Ko-
I thought I am not sure because I calculated the three bawanga, the Adita, Chalana, and the
Oh, okay.
one more is the
You're saying the
Upajega.
different,
Uh,
which are the different consciousness that can appear lah. Okay.
It might be
Watamana,
erroneous. I will read through and
Dada
try to correct it
Ramana.
later.
Maybe correct lah if you are saying like that. 29 Javana, kilometer plus. Okay.
Any more comment?
6, 7, 8. So there are 8 consciousness. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sister Sumitra, this
Yes,
with
brother.
regards to what you are discussing now, why do you put the 3 Bhavanga moments here?
Because I shouldn't have used the moment. Maybe I say three bawanga cita. Could it be okay?
Oh, you see here, what you are referring, your statement is different types of consciousness, and you give the number of citta, like Panchadwara, you have one, Taku Vijnana, you have two. Your intention is what? Your intention is to count the number of possible citta, right?
Okay, so
Then you should put in the 19 Bhavanga citta,
okay.
because if
19
you're
bawanga.
talking about idol cognitive process, you don't include the Bhavanga Chitta because Bhavanga is not part of the idol.
Yeah, I see. 19, 19. Okay,
So
I'll correct
when you
that.
add this up, you should be 46. Okay? That is where there is 46 possible, what you call chitta, different chitta. 46 types of chitta can possibly arise in the idol or any other doors, you see, a sense door.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll do the correction.
So
I'll do
this
the
one
correction.
maybe is your intention. What is your purpose of putting in this? You see, but if you are just talking about the idol cognitive process, and if you are talking about how many types of consciousness, then you have to summarize. Okay, you
Okay,
take away the
good. Thank you.
Bhavanga, and the total possible maximum is 46 steps.
Okay.
Because you have to summarize it. Otherwise, people will wonder what is the purpose of this statement.
My mistake here.
I
I will
did,
put the table of 46 citta then. Yeah.
Okay, then above it, the mind rest or dies. I think I agree with the
Yeah. My mistake. I make a fallacy in the statement.
because it becomes different interpretation to different readers. When the mind rests, what do you mean by
Correct.
this? When the mind dies, what do you mean by dies? You see? So I think normally the text will put it as that the last step before the mind falls back to Bhavanga.
Okay.
So life continuum.
Okay.
And
Thanks for the help.
that's the end of the Chaku Dwara Viti. Okay, so this is on this. Then we go up again.
Okay.
We go up another slide. Okay, when you talk about determining, determining is Votapana. Then this Votapana is represented by Mano Dwara Vajana Chitta. Okay. So here I understand you try to describe that this Mano Dwara Wajana Chitta is also functioning as everything in the Maido. Then the subsequent statement is irrelevant. It's not relevant in this case.
I see.
Yeah. Because when you talk about investigating, we are talking about Santirana. You're not talking about Dwara. You're not talking about Awajana.
I
Yeah.
see.
Even though your what you call your Pali word is correct, it refers to Mano Dwara. Okay? It doesn't refer to Santirana, but your English words is referring to Santirana.
Okay. Okay.
So there is a contradiction here, and you seems to have this
Yeah.
mix up, you know.
Now I see the mistake. Sorry.
Ah,
I wasn't
you-
aware of it.
So you delete the English words, and then the Upika Santirana is the full name for the chitta that is doing the functions of Utapana as well as the function of Avajana, everything. Okay. Then we go up again. We go up again the slide. Okay. Okay, this Santirana, okay. Then this Sampatichana. Okay, go up again. You go up to I think was it the okay. Now if you look at your you look at your eye consciousness okay, the first one the bottom one, eye consciousness accompanied by equanimity. In English, that is what you mean. But in Pali, it's different at all. You're talking about kusala vipaka, but in English,
Yeah. Missing words.
then after that, you have the past wholesome and unwholesome. This one refers to the wholesome, not the unwholesome. Unwholesome refer to the subsequent on the second one. Yeah, this is your sequence, but in the chitta sequence is the Bali. You have the akusala first, then you have the kusala.
Yeah.
So it's up to you lah. I mean, if that is not critical, but here you see, you find that you mix up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then the 5 dot everything also. You see, the 5 dot everything towards the object. Okay. Accompanied by equanimity. Then it's a functional. Okay.
No, the 5-door averting the part, right?
The
It is
Pali
the
word is not
5-door
correct.
averting consciousness accompanied by equanimity. The Pali word is not correct.
The mano, it should be pancha dwara.
I see. Mistaken.
You probably use cut and paste.
My mistake.
I also make such mistake before.
Okay, I'll correct that.
Then we go up. I think there's another one more. I think go up again. I think slide number 2, if I'm not wrong. Slide number 2. Okay, in this table, you see when you put your column in your table, the chitta name, even though you actually put this name is correct but when I read it initially, I tend to read it as the name of the chitta. Yeah, that means like okay, for example, when you talk about Chakku Vinyana, you should be referring to the one kusala and the one akusala should be in this column. Then only that you say number of consciousness, you have 2.
I see. Now I see what you say. What you mean? Yes. So I should transfer the kusala akusala into the same column as the chitta name.
So that way, maybe it will be more meaningful in the sense that for readers who didn't go into details, you know. Then the other thing is, I know the Bhavanka is actually good for you to put in here but because you are talking about Chakku Dwara Viti, because here the question also asks, what can arise in the idol?
Mm.
The bhavanga doesn't arise in the idol. It's actually arise in the
Before.
heartbeat phase.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I see.
Even though the bhavanga is the mind door, it serves as a mind door, but it doesn't serve in this case, as part of the idol. So normally you don't put in the bhavanga as part
Okay.
of the idol process.
Mm.
So you take off the 19, then you won't complicate the issue so much lah.
Okay. Okay.
I think
Thanks.
that's all I saw lah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for the precious
Sorry,
suggestion.
Raico, everything include or not?
Come again.
The Panchadwara Vajana include or not?
Yeah, it is part of it. It start from the Panchadwara ma.
Okay.
The cognitive process actually starts from the Panchadwara onwards.
I see. I see. I see.
Okay.
I saw my mistake. Thank you. Thank you.
But in terms of the process, they count the bhavanga, the three bhavanga, as part of the process lah. But it's not part of the idol because the objects are different. It's only when everything comes in, then the object, the idol object comes in already.
I see. I see. I see. Thanks. Okay, so I proceed. Okay, now question 3. What are the rootless consciousness? Explain the name and name them under the different groupings. Okay, in Theravada Abhidhamma philosophy, hetu is usually rendered as causal condition, which apply to the 6 roots consisting of the 3 immoral roots, akusala citta, which is the lobha, the mula, dosa mula, moha mula, and their opposites, the sobhana hetus, such as the alobha, adosa, and amoha. The citta or cetasika, which is accompanied by a hetu, is called sa hetuka, whereas rootless consciousness are called ahetuka because they are devoid of the concomitant hetus. The ahetuka citta refers to the 18 types of mental states that arise without moral roots, meaning that they are neither inherently wholesome nor unwholesome, but rather functional or resultant. The ahetuka citta, whenever we see, hear, smell, taste, or experience tangible object through the bodily sense or as the mind's immediate reaction to sensory input, it arises before citta with akusala hetus or the sobhana hetus arises. So the key aspect of the 18 types of rootless consciousness. The 18 types of rootless consciousness are classified as the following 3 groups. Firstly, the 7 rootless unwholesome resultant consciousness, akusala vipaka citta. These are the 5 consciousness arises at the 5 sense door, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, the receiving consciousness, and the investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity. Here, the exception is the body consciousness is accompanied by pain or unpleasant feelings. Then, one patichana and virana accompanied by equanimity. They arise as the result of the wholesome karma. The second group consists of 8 rootless wholesome resultant consciousness, kusala vipaka ahetuka citta. This consciousness occurs as the result of the wholesome karma, yet they are rootless. The first 5 are sense consciousness that arise at the 5 sense door accompanied by equanimity, except the body consciousness is accompanied by pleasant feeling. Included in this group are 1 sampatichana accompanied by equanimity and 2 santirana citta, where 1 is accompanied by equanimity and the other one accompanied by joy. The first 5 pairs of the wholesome and unwholesome resultant consciousness are also known as Dwi Pancha Vijnana. That is two sets of five-fold sense consciousness. They are so called because they are dependent on the five senses, as the impact of the object are relatively weak, as they are accompanied by neutral feelings, with exception of the body consciousness, which is accompanied by either pain or pleasant feeling. This should be the third group, a mistake here. The three rootless wholesome consciousness, a functional consciousness, ahetuka kriya citta. This group of functional consciousness is neither a product of karmic result nor causal karma. These are the five sense door averting consciousness accompanied by equanimity, the mind door averting consciousness accompanied by equanimity, and the smile producing consciousness accompanied by joy. The smile producing consciousness is peculiar to an arahant. Its function is to cause an arahant to smile over the sense sphere phenomena. So a lesson learned from the rootless consciousness. Unlike the 19 types of bhavanga citta, which are sahetuka, for beautiful realms initiating karmic result, and may perform the rebirth linking function, these rootless consciousness are merely passive awareness of or an impersonal reaction towards the sensual stimulation. So when one is involved in seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and bodily sensing at their bare initial moment, the consciousness arises has not yet contained concomitants such as greed or hatred. They are very simple resultant, products of the past karma. These consciousness are relatively vulnerable or weak in the sense that they are rootless, hence couldn't produce future karma or volitional action driven by the six roots. This matters in practice. Bare seeing is just seeing. Trouble usually begins not at the first eye consciousness, but later jhana state, where the mind reacts with liking, disliking, confusion, or wisdom. This is a useful support for satipatthana in sense restraint, establishing mindfulness. One can learn to notice the difference between contact and reaction. We may practice sense restraint by reducing the possibility of establishing feelings that may lead to attachment or aversion towards the sense object that will trigger the production of wholesome or unwholesome volition, and a series of consequences dependent on the preceding causes. It helps us to verify the importance of the law of dependent origination. As one pay wise attention, it is possible to disrupt the causal effect may happen at the moment of sense contact. In summary, the 18th rootless consciousness refers to the passive state of mind, devoid of the six roots of attachment, such as the three unwholesome roots, greed, hatred, delusion, as well as the three wholesome roots, non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. Out of 18, 15 rootless resulting consciousness occurs continuously as a result to the corresponding karma, whereas the remaining three rootless functional consciousness are neither a result of karma nor the cause to create the future karma. Their function is merely enabling basic perception towards a sense object to occur, which is bare awareness of the respective stimuli before more complex moral and immoral thought process begin to take effect. Although rootless consciousness lack roots, it is not therefore unimportant or inferior in a practical sense. It shows how experience first appear in a very minimal way before the mind builds a story around it. It is possible to stop the chain reaction of dependent origination at the point of contact, eliminating the potential of generating volitions act that brings forth karmic consequences. That's all.
Any
Yes,
comment?
Sumitra, can you go to first slide? Do we see Sobana Hetus?
Pardon?
I mean, you say there are three immoral roots, greed, hatred, delusion, or their opposite, the Sobana Hetus. Do we really say Sobana Hetus, or we actually say Kusala?
I will change that.
Kusala, but the immoral roots is Kusala Chetasika, roots is Hetu, but they are
Mistake,
Chetasika,
my
yes
mistake,
lah,
my
but
mistake. It should be Loba Mula instead of Cetasika. My mistake.
oh, okay. Then go to slide number 5. Slide number 5. Oh, this is slide number 5, right? Okay. Unlike the 19 types of Bhavanga Chitta which are Sahetuka, do we say the Bhavanga Chitta which are Sahetuka? I mean, it could be born in the unwholesome state also, right? It's not necessarily born into the beautiful realms, right? Or maybe you want to, like, for example, then maybe then it's correct lah. Because if you say like this, is quite very like a generalization like that.
Okay. Okay, I'll
That's my
correct that.
view lah. I'm not sure lah. That's my view lah.
Because I'm not sure. So I put in things that I'm not sure. So I'll correct it.
Because I think Bhavanga should be neutral one, right? Unless you want to like say, for example, what happened, then the Sahetuka one go to the beautiful realm. But then if you put like this, it's like quite generalized, a bit confusing like that.
Okay.
Maybe Brother Cole can give better opinion. Then slide number 8. Slide the conclusion part. Before that, one slide before. Number 5. I think this thing, right? Unwholesome. This one I mentioned it. Then the last one. Okay. Although rootless consciousness lacks roots, it is not therefore unimportant. This I agree lah. But then it says it is possible to stop the chain reaction of dependent origin, because all this, right, I think it's not related, right? Because whether the contact will happen, the rootless consciousness will definitely arise, right? So the conclusion doesn't really, how is it going to link to the rootless consciousness for this point? It is possible to stop the chain reaction. I mean, the sentence is correct lah, but how is it linked to the rootless consciousness?
In my mind, when we are aware that the consciousness phase is neutral, unrooted, then if a person is alert, we can see things clearly as it is, seeing it as non-self, seeing it's impermanent, whatever, then become alert. In the Javana state, the Cetana won't be prone to the craving, aversion, or whatever that is deluded mind. This is what I think in my mind. So it's sort of like I link to the previous question that I answered before, where Vedana, Pachaya, Tanha, Pachaya, Upadana. I remember that. So I sort of link it to that question, because after seeing at the Javana state, it is there arise the Vedana and then triggers the Vedana, Cetana. This is what I think.
Because
But
the question
I
say
yeah.
explain and name them under different grouping lah. So your conclusion
Mm,
suddenly mentioned about link to the dependent origination at the contact of at the point of contact, like not
mm.
linked to the question like that. To me lah, I think
Okay.
the conclusion is
Yeah,
being
yeah,
odd
yeah,
lah.
yeah, yeah. True, true, true. Because my mind jumps.
Okay. That's my
Jumps,
view lah.
yeah.
So another
Uh,
question is not related to this one. Just now the first question, right?
mm.
I wonder how you do the Excel file terbalik, not terbalik. I mean, how the word become like that. That's my curiosity lah. How to type in such a way the word is like in the it's not horizontal, but it's portrait like that.
Again? Come again.
The Excel file, right? The wordings
Okay.
are
This is word direction. Word direction. When you create a table, you go to your the format, the format there. You see that there is something like a word direction. They have
word
different
direction. Okay.
different direction. I'll send you the screenshot later.
Okay.
Show you
Okay.
how it goes.
Okay. All right.
Mm,
All right.
okay.
That's all.
Mm,
Sumitra,
yes.
can I add some here? Okay,
Sure.
back to your summary first, your conclusion. Okay, maybe in a way, I also agree lah. It's quite difficult to link the dependent origination to this lah, because you might as well take off that statement
Okay.
to minimize the controversy lah.
Mm.
Then the other thing, I think here you put, there's one, did I saw something about concomitant here?
Wait, let me check.
Just now I thought I saw a word concomitance. Okay, never mind. Okay, never mind here. The Sopana or the Kusala Hetu, Aloba, Adosa, and Amoha can also be Abhyakata.
Yeah.
Now,
Indeterminate.
indeterminate roots but it's still roots. It's just that it's neither wholesome nor unwholesome lah. So in the case just now you mentioned there's the Sahituka one, the 19 one, Chita, that one got Sahituka. But actually that one is referring not to the Kusala Hetu, is Abhyakata Hetu. Indeterminate Hetu.
I see. My mistake.
Okay.
I'll read that again.
Then this one,
Brother Ko, I don't really get you. What is that?
you see, besides, we normally know about Akusala Hetu and the Kusala Hetu, but there is another portion called Abhyakata Hetu. The Abhyakata Hetus are the Aloba, Adosa, and Amoha roots, but it's in the Vipaka Chitta as well as the Kriya Chitta. They don't call Kusala Hetu. They are called Abhyakata Hetu because it's not determinate, but they are roots of the Vipaka as well as the roots for the Kriya Chitta.
Okay.
Okay.
So then after that you say something. After that you say something about the 19 that part.
Okay, you go to the 19 now. Sister Sumitra, you go to the 19. Just now the 19. The 19 Sahituka. Okay. See, unlike the 19 types of Bhavaka Chitta, which is Sahituka, it's true, they have roots, but the roots are not Kusala roots, you know. They are Abhyakata roots. So this Sahituka refers to, can be the Kusala Chitta, Vipaka Chitta, and Kriya Chitta, I think. But when you talk about Bhavaka Chitta, you're actually talking about the Vipaka Chitta. So the Vipaka Chitta that belongs to 8 Mohabola Vipakacita, then the 9 Mahagata Vipakacita. These are Sahayutuka Vipakacita. Okay. But that is only how many? 8 plus 9 is only 17 ma. So where did the 19 come from?
Oh, I relate
So
to
how-
the function of the life bhavanga. There was 19.
So you see or not, this 19 refers to also the Santirana. But Santirana is not Sahituka.
I see.
So you have to take off the 3 Santirana, but take off 2 Santirana. So you
I have to reread the whole chapter.
Oh,
also, Sister Sumitra, I think the
Yes.
in the second paragraph, right? I
Uh-huh.
actually find that not really related.
Okay, okay. I will delete this.
No, I mean, Brother Cole, what do you think? I think it's not related, right?
no, because this one, they explain, you can explain in the sense that you explain the grouping as well as explain the naming of the grouping. You see. But here you can explain prior to the naming. What do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? Okay, to me, it's
No, but
okay.
do we really need to say about the Satipatthana, Vedana, Chitana, all this?
It's up to you lah. Because
But
it's
I
very
feel like
important,
not related actually.
because these are
Uh,
elaboration, these are elaboration to show your understanding. To me, it's okay lah. At least it shows that there is certain understanding, and you are able to correlate to the sense restraint, as well as the Satipatthana, kaya anusati.
Okay.
Okay. Then wait, you go up another slide.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw the concomitant here. Okay, here at the first paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the number 5, the quick line, the consciousness arises has not yet contained concomitants. When you say concomitants, what do you refer to?
Mental factor.
Yeah. Does the Vipaka has concomitants?
I'm not sure. I'm confused.
We have at least 7 universal mental factor So you cannot say they don't contain concomitants.
I see.
If you say does not contain root concomitant, yes, then you're right. Loba and dosa is actually cetasika also concomitant mental factor, but they are also roots. So if you say has yet contained concomitant, meaning you say there's no concomitant, there's no mental factor. But how can chitta arise without mental factor? So
Correct.
chitta has to come up with cetasika, otherwise it wouldn't arise also.
So I can say without unwholesome mental factors.
We cannot also. You cannot say what you want is the greed and hatred, that means the root, the consciousness arises with no akusala concomitants or akusala hetu concomitants.
Okay, get it.
Maybe just say hetu, right? No need to say akusala, right?
Yeah.
Unless you want to specify, it's a general thing, but does not yet contain root. How to say? I don't know. But it's supposed to be root, right? Root concomitant. Root.
They are rootless.
So has not yet contain any mental factors that has a root. That I don't know how to.
Oh,
I don't know how to
because
put
you,
it.
because there in your statement earlier, they at their bare initial moment, I think that is a good point. It will help you really, because it shows that from the Abhidhamma perspective, you are very clear. This is bare what you call sensation only, or bare function only, that they are performing. They are they are not like what
The
the
consciousness arises without any roots, cannot.
yeah, it's enough already. Can also.
Okay, okay.
Uh, okay, that's all.
Consciousness arises without roots. They are rootless.
Uh, uh, okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.